Hello, and today I'm going to be going over a 2024 election prediction between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. So I do think that states like California, Oregon, Washington, New York, and the rest of the East Coast, the Midwestern region. So for Kamala Harris, it would be, and Andrew Yang, it would be safe electoral vote numbers. It would be 184 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, and for Pence, for Donald Trump and his vice presidents. Assuming that Pence does become Donald Trump's vice president. 122 safe electoral votes. 128 safe electoral votes. And I do think that Harris would probably carry Nevada by a leans margin, as Joe Biden did, and carry Minnesota by a leans margin, as also Joe Biden did. I do think that Donald Trump would win the state of Maine, and I do think that Kamala Harris will win one of the electoral votes in Nebraska, near Omaha over there. I also think because Trump does have the potential to win over voters in Ohio and Iowa, it would be a likely margin. But if you do look back into 2000 and 2004, you see that George H.W. Bush won these states by smaller margins, like tilt margins. Not tilt margins, but lean margins by about 3%. But I do think Donald Trump is a lot better in Ohio. He wins about 10% margins. Yeah, so I do think also it's a surprise, but I do think that Alaska could come close. I still think that Donald Trump would carry it by a safe margin in 2024, and Harris would obviously carry Hawaii and Illinois. So I do think that Kamala Harris will win New Hampshire by a likely margin, as Joe Biden did this year by 7 percentage points. Donald Trump, again, in 2016, the whole nation shifted to the right, so he did a lot better in the state of New Hampshire. Texas, well, I do see Texas shifting to the left. This year it was 5%. In 2016, it was 9%, and in 2012, it was about 15%, and back in 2004, it was about 22%. I do still characterize Texas as a lean state in 2024 for Donald Trump, assuming that Donald Trump will be the candidate. Other candidates will probably not be able to win as many voters as Donald Trump. Nikki Haley would probably do well, but other candidates like Mitt Romney or traditional Republican candidates would not do as well as in Ohio or Iowa, which caused Barack Obama to win both of those states in 2008 and 12. But I do think that Texas could closen up in 2024 because of its Democratic shift, and I do think that if Democrats bring somebody like Barack Obama, sort of like candidate, they could possibly not only flip Ohio and Iowa as he did, but as Obama did in 2008 and 2012, I do think that it's a potential to flip Texas blue, and that would automatically, it would not automatically give a win for the Democratic Party. They'd still be at 268, and they would still need to win Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, or Michigan, one of those states left. But I still see Trump winning the state of Texas by a smaller margin than in 2020, not by a 5% margin, which is a likely margin, but under 5, between 1 and 5, I do think by about 2 or 3% margin in 2024. And Florida also by a leans margin. But if you do see some sort of Mitt Romney as candidate, and then you have a sort of Obama-like candidate, well, obviously you can have Florida and North Carolina flip. North Carolina, Texas, and you might even have these states flip, and then the whole Rust Belt thing. But I just don't if that does happen, then yes, but we are going over the Kamala Harris scenario. So I do think, and we're wondering if Joe Biden will actually run for a second term. And I do think Trump will win Florida by a leans margin, as it's always been a swing state, and Obama did flip it twice, but it always shifted to the right by a small amount. It was always state. I do think South Carolina is going to come up close, and Kansas is going to come close. These states have been shifting to the left for a pretty long time now, and I do think these states could potentially get closer and closer for the Democratic Party to take back. And I do think it's possible for the Democratic Party to once take South Carolina and Kansas, which are now between a 5 and 15% margin for Donald Trump. In Arizona, I just don't see Harris being as popular in Arizona. Trump said that he might pick Tim Scott, somebody in South Carolina, senator. He, as an African American, he will Trump, if he's chosen as Trump's partner, then I do think it will potentially help by being able to flip states like Georgia and Arizona and North Carolina, because these states are filled with minority voters. And I do think Wisconsin's a closer state that they could win. So I do think if that happens, then Trump will come back unless his popularity decreases. But I do think for now, I do see giving Arizona and Georgia to Kamala Harris. And I also do see Kamala Harris winning North Carolina. I do see Kamala Harris winning Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And I do think she'll win with 315 electoral votes to Donald Trump and Mike Pence's 223. Just because I do think unless Donald Trump can win a big vote over minority voters, he's not going to win any of these states. Now, if he does, sort of going to be a 2016 scenario, but even better because he does win Maine, and because it would potentially see Georgia and Arizona going back to their ways. But for now, I do characterize Kamala Harris and winning Georgia and Arizona by a tilt margin. Same thing in North Carolina. But I do think because of the Rust Belt, it will stay blue. Now, you look at this map, you see, okay, well, Donald Trump wins the Rust Belt, but Kamala Harris still wins with the Sun Belt. And I do still see Kamala Harris winning all these states. Possibly Michigan by a likely margin. But for now, I'll leave it at leagues. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next official politics video. Bye.